Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a hump day edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com, Restored Motion, RestoredMotions.com, and ProCharge EV.
Lately, one way I've been able to help keep my mental health a priority has been through therapy using BetterHelp.
ProCharge EV, ProCharge EV. Whoops, I forgot to put the title on YouTube. My apologies. I'll fix that. Anyway, all right. So, hope your hump day's off to a great day. Off to a great start. Excuse me. I have there in the description, although you're not seeing it right now if you're live on YouTube because I forgot to put it on there, that Mike Denbrock up for the Broyles Award. So that's really cool. Broyles Award, of course, given annually to the nation's best assistant coach in college football, and he is most certainly deserving. One of the things that, obviously you have one LSU assistant who has won the Broyles Award. That was obviously Joe Brady won it in 2019. And I think if you've listened to me for any length of time, you know how I feel about that. Joe Brady was certainly a piece of what LSU did in 2019. He was most definitely not the most important piece of 2019. It was not the Joe Brady offense. It was the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Terrace Marshall, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Thad Moss, Damian Lewis, Lloyd Cushenberry, Austin Decula, Sadiq Charles, Ed Ingram offense, with Steve Ensminger calling the plays, and Joe Brady riding sidecar to Steve Ensminger. But Ensminger is a guy that wanted no credit whatsoever publicly, and I guess was sort of content to let Joe Brady get all the credit publicly with that narrative, which was just really bizarre. And boy, has Joe Brady ridden that to a heck of a career, where he got broke off by the Carolina Panthers and fired after a year and a couple of games of not being very good at calling plays. And went to Buffalo as the quarterback's coach, although incidentally he never coached quarterbacks at LSU. It was Ensminger who worked with the quarterbacks. Joe Brady worked with the receivers. Anyway, so now, of course, Brady is the interim OC there in Buffalo, so we'll see how that goes. But really, I feel good for Mike Denbrock. Denbrock is a great coach and has been. I remember there was a video last year in spring ball that LSU posted. Yeah, LSU media posted it, and it was Denbrock was talking to John Emery. And Emery made a wrong read or something like that, and Denbrock went up to him, and they had him, mic'd up, and he's like, he said something effective. He kind of put his hand around him. He's like, "Hey man, just you don't have to make the home. It's like just get upfield and get what you can get. It ain't like I'm gonna stop giving you the ball. Just kind of like that. So just kind of put him at ease. And you can understand why he's really sort of paternal, really fatherly to a lot of the players, while they love him, and he's great at what he does, man. That was a great hire by Brian Kelly, and we've talked about. Sorry, I'm trying to put this crease protector in my shoe, and I'm struggling a little bit here today. Anyway, but let's see if that did it. But Denbrock is great, and he's deserving of the accolades. I mean, Jaden Daniels is magnificent. I think Joe Sloan has done an awesome job. Brian Kelly even said it on Monday. I asked him about the credit that Denbrock and Sloan deserve, and Kelly was very diplomatic. Said it's collaborative, and there's plenty of credit to go around, and everyone gives their input, from Cortez Hankton and Frank Wilson, and just on and on. And he's right. I mean, it is collaborative, and that's great. That's how it should be. But Sloan has done a great job working with the quarterbacks, and Denbrock has done a great job game planning and dialing up the right plays at the right time. And I would love to see Denbrock win the Broyles Award. He's very, very deserving, coordinating the best offense in college football. So hopefully he wins it, man. I would love to see him win it. For a guy at 59 years old, almost in the same mold as Ensminger when he had that great run in 2019. They're very similar, guys that are coaching lifers, love ball, love what they do, Players, coaches, everyone loves them, and they're just very understated guys that don't beg for the spotlight. They're not at this point in their careers. Just like Ensminger wasn't trying to become a head coach. That's not to say if the opportunity came for Denbrock, he wouldn't look at that opportunity, but it's not something I think that he's actively seeking to. Oh, thank you so much. That's what I thought about that. Someone said about Chavis. I thought Chavis won it in 2011. He did. He did win it in 20. Thank you. I thought when I said out loud that Brady won it in 19, I was like, I think Chavis won it one year too. But I forgot. But you're right. He did. He won it. Chavis won it in 2011. So would love to see Denbrock win it. A couple more weeks of putting up great stats, and we'll see. It should be a fun award season. I mean, Malik Neighbors. I would hate to see Marvin Harrison win the Blitnikoff on reputation when Neighbors has actually had the best season. If Neighbors goes out and has 2 more monster games, and maybe Harrison doesn't do much the next 2 weeks, and we see Neighbors really stretch out those statistical totals, he could win it. I think Jaden Daniels will be a Heisman finalist. Depending on how the next 2 weeks go, could have a really great shot at winning the award. So anyway, all right, let's say some good morning, y'all. Charlie Cavell, Scott Borch, Vernell Thomas, good morning. What's the word on Carr and Winston for the next game? Well, Dennis Allen's been adamant. I mean, there is no quarterback controversy. Derek Carr is the starter. So if Carr is healthy, he's going to play. And my understanding is just a few little tidbits yesterday that they're expecting Carr is going to clear protocol and be good to go for Atlanta. Charlie, speaking of Joe Brady, see where he's been elevated to OC by the Bills. Yeah, I talked about it a bit yesterday on AFR. He's the one thing I know about Joe Brady for certain is he hated recruiting and was never going to be long for the college game. So he's probably going to be an NFL lifer, and his journey is going to be an interesting one to watch from OC of the Panthers, where his star was shining very brightly, and then it didn't go great, and then he lands in Buffalo as the quarterback's coach there. Behind Ken Dorsey, and Dorsey gets fired, so Brady's elevated, and we'll see how he does. It's really it's really a real life interview for the rest of the season. Brant Roban, good morning. If LSU gets to 10 wins this year, how can this fan base be that disappointed and bash the program? Guess just being impatient. I don't know that people are bashing the program. I can understand certainly the discontentment with the defense. So, and you should be, and there's going to be changes. But the other thing I'll tell you, and I don't know if y'all caught this on AFR, but I led AFR with it yesterday, and I'm it's pretty apparent what how they're building this program. And I think one of the mistakes that Brian Kelly made when he came here, and I've just had a lot of conversations, both on and off the record, over certainly the last year, and in particular in the last 3 months, about some of the changes in the way that they've gone about roster building and how they're targeting different things. When Kelly got hired, he brought in Brian Polian with him, and Polian was the recruiting coordinator. The truth is they were still recruiting the way that they would have recruited to Notre Dame. And I keep using this example, and I hate to use it because I don't mean to bag on the kid. And I hope you'll understand that's not what I'm doing. It's just an illustration. And it's the Jeremiah Hughes story. And Jeremiah Hughes, a 3-star out of Bishop Gorman in Las Vegas. I mean, throw a rock and hit a 3-star in Louisiana. I mean, you got a couple of 3-star cornerbacks from the state already committed, and dozens more that would line up and give an arm to play at LSU. So why invest the resources to get a kid out of a 3-star out of Las Vegas when you can get 100 Jeremiah Hugheses in Louisiana who want to play for LSU? You know what I mean? Grew up wanting to wear that uniform, represent the state. And so that's been a real shift. And I know there's a lot of people upset about losing Andre Evans and Kai Bates, who are the 2 highest rated corners in this class. But I'm here to tell you, that wasn't Andre Evans and Kai Bates looking for greener pastures. that was LSU, because over the same period, LSU took 2 cornerback commits. That was LSU saying, go find a spot. So, I mean, get me the dude from Edna Carr, or get me the dude from JFK in New Orleans who's got that dog in him. Who it's his dream to play at LSU. Who Frank Wilson said, I'll take that guy. He can be on my team. Give me that guy. You know what I mean? And I think that's a pretty significant change in the way that they've gone about doing things from the time Brian Kelly got here to what they're doing now. Maybe if I could say it cleanly, the purest way I could say it is they're letting Frank Wilson do his job. And that's a great thing. That's a great thing for LSU. Trivia Carter, Ray Langwell, Wendell Norman, Jason H., Chris P., Jeff Hogg. What's up, Jeff? Good morning, man. From Jefferson City, Missouri. All right, brother, man. Hope you're doing great. Wacky Chris, what's up? Abner Neal, how was Drew's doctor appointment? It was good. He's not sick. It was for some neuro meds. And so, obviously you make changes to a kid like Drew's meds that they have to put eyes on him and all different types of stuff. So anyway, but it was good. But thank you for asking. Brian Pinton, good morning from Columbus, Montana. Ooh, I bet you are freezing up there today. James McKinney, Larry Garner, Randall Offrecht. Who do you think takes the A&M job? I think it's going to be Mike Elko, Randall. We talked to Billy Lucci on Monday, and I know LSU fans eye roll about Billy, but I'm here to tell you, first of all, Billy's a great guy. I think the world of him personally. And professionally, there is literally nobody. When I say literally, I mean it in the truest sense. Like, literally nobody that is more plugged in than Billy Lucci at A&M. Like, to everybody and everything. Texags is such a gigantic success story. It is the Texas A&M hub, and every coach and administrator, and that they all understand that is the forum. And so, like, Billy runs it, and he's the guy. So, I don't know any other way to say it. He's Adam Schefter. He's Woj, And so when Billy says this isn't going to be a $10 million a year hire, he's not making that up. You know what I mean? So, I think Mike Elko is the most obvious choice. He's turned Duke into a winner. He was at A&M, was great there as the DC, knows the culture and all that stuff, fits the profile of what they're looking for. That, if I had to guess, that would be my guess. Matt Plavidal, good morning. Off today at the post office. Okay. Wish I knew Russ was going to be at Whiskey and Wine. Would have showed up, got off early Saturday. You know what, Matt? Honestly, man, I knew Russ wanted to come. I didn't know if he'd make it because he was at the game with his wife, and they, as you probably know, it ain't easy to traverse Baton Rouge to get out of campus on a game day. So I knew he was trying to make it there. I don't know if he would, but he did. Lawrence Burley, good morning. Brad David, good morning. What do you think is the better job, Mississippi State or Michigan State? So you got to define better, right? Mississippi State, you're in a talent-rich state. You're in the SEC. You have SEC resources. You just have a lot going for you there. But you're in the SEC, and it's really hard to win. Michigan State, look, you're second fiddle in your own state to Michigan. And there's a big scandal there. But as far as money and resources, Mississippi State's a better job, but it's hard to win in both places. Tim Gotro, good morning. Can you clip the Sean Salisbury segment talking about Carr from yesterday? Whole bunch of Saints fans I know that needed to send to. Yes, so Tim, if you go to the AFR Saints YouTube channel, it should be posted. Let me just look. If it's not posted today, or if it wasn't posted last night, it'll be posted today. So just, if you're not subscribed to the channel, do so and set notifications. So they put up the segment we did on Jason Pierre-Paul went up last night, And the Derek Carr segment with Sean Salisbury will go up today. The latest Derek Carr segment that's up right now is the Empty Yards Emperor. If you missed that on my, you know what, I'm going to post it in here. I'm going to copy the link. Hang on. I'll post it in the comments. Just in case if you missed it. It was pretty fun. We enjoyed it. We had a good time. Derek Carr is a new nickname. The Empty Yards Emperor. All right. Please smash the like button, YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, Facebook. Please like the Matt Moscona page. Share the post. We appreciate y'all. Daryl Summers, morning, Matt. Do you think Denbrock gets a head coaching position this offseason? You know, Daryl, I don't think so. First of all, he's never been a head coach. He's 59. Not to say that you can't hire a 60-year-old to be a head coach for the first time. It's just that would be an uncommon hire. And if Denbrock did get a job, I don't think it would be like a top 10 or 15 job in the country. You know, would he take a G5 type job just to be a head coach? I doubt it. You know, I know Mike and his wife, and they have a son, Chance, who I think they are really comfortable here, and obviously have great job security and makes a lot of money. I don't think so. The type of job it would take to uproot him from here, I don't know that he would be a candidate for. So, yeah. So the short answer is no. I don't think he'll get a head coaching job. I think he'll be back. Ransom Antoine, good morning, Matt. I hope it won't happen, but we have a bet that JPP will get hurt before next Sunday, i.e. Des Bryant. Saints have, yeah, you know what I need to do, Ransom Antoine? I need to go make a list of all of like the end of their career veterans the Saints have signed over the year. Des Bryant, when they kicked the tires on Charles Woodson. Remember they worked out Edgerrin James back in the day. Adrian Peterson. Y'all help me make that list. I need to make that list. I'm sure there's, like, I would have forgotten about Des Bryant. I need to make that list. Brad David, is Russ Mitchell going to be on AFR today? Yes. Brian Wynn, Jason H., Landon Weber, good morning, Matt. Got into an argument with my supervisor who wants to fire Denbrock for Jimbo as OC. What do you think? I think that is one of the dumbest things ever. Landon, tell your supervisor, and this might be the only time you could say this to your supervisor, because otherwise he might fire you. Tell your supervisor he is stupid. Mike Denbrock is a proven commodity in the current age of college football. He led Cincinnati with Desmond Ridder and that squad to a top 5 offense in literally every meaningful statistical category. Leaves Cincinnati, comes to LSU, and in year 2 has LSU as the best offense in the country. Yes, Jaden Daniels is magnificent, and you have to have the players. I'm not in any way minimizing that, but you still have to have the right person calling the plays, pulling the trigger. Look at LSU's defense as a contrast. I'm not telling you that LSU's defensive talent is elite, but it's a heck of a lot better talent-wise than what they've been able to show, which is like either the worst or second worst defense ever at LSU. That's coaching. So anyway, no, bringing in Jimbo to be the offense, like Jimbo literally had to give up play calling duties and bring in Bobby Petrino because there was so much pressure on him because of his inability to move their offense forward. So no, that's a terrible idea. Jerry G, Chihuahua 1, Matt Plavidal. Matt, I know it's football season, but baseball just signed crazy list of players. I had a scout tell me that it's the best signing class ever. What LSU signed last week. Cajun Country, can we get E-Rock to get a stat number for Jaden this week? She was right against Florida. Any concern that Joe Brady ends up at 8-4? I would love it if Joe Brady ended up at Texas A&M, but he's not going to. He's going to be a pro coach. Chris P, knowing what we know now with Carr, if we can go back in time, do you think DA would still pick Carr? They still seem pot committed to it, Chris, which is mind-boggling. But you hear Dennis Allen speak and Mickey Loomis talk about the situation, and they just continue plowing forward. They are not deterred by this 10-game sample, which is really weird. Leon Williams, Antron Hemingway, good morning. Let's see, Matt, I hear Quinn Ewers is coming back next year. I said maybe we can get Arch finally manning in purple and gold. I'll believe that when I see it. But how about that? So I think the bigger story there is, so there was a report yesterday from On3 that Quinn Ewers is expected to return to Texas. And last week, Dion said that Shadur was going back to Colorado. So yeah, I think you probably see what I'm getting at here. If Quinn Ewers returns to Texas and Shadur Sanders returns to Colorado, that clears the deck even further for Jaden Daniels to move up draft boards, where you're talking about Caleb Williams, Drake May, who are like everybody's consensus 1-2 in whatever order. And then it's Bo Nix, Michael Penix, Quinn Ewers, Shadur Sanders, Jaden Daniels. You take two of those guys out, I mean, and Jaden just goes boop, boop, boop. And then considering his play as well, then he'll go to the Combine, probably the Senior Bowl as well, and you're just going to continue to see Jaden rise up draft boards. All right, a couple more minutes here, y'all. Please smash that like button. Jacob Hibbard, good morning from Utah. Jacoby Matthews is going to come home. We need secondary help if we want to win 10 games next year. I would love to see Jacoby. So for those who remember, Jacoby Matthews, safety for Ponchatoula, talked about him on signing day. Was a guy that LSU wanted, and he desperately wanted to come to LSU. Like, that was a guy who it was his goal, dream to play at LSU. And LSU made a push for him, and he got a better NIL deal from A&M. And I know this because I saw how the deal was structured and the money he got and everything like that. And it was just a situation where, for his family, they took the more money. And there were even people who tried to talk to him about, like, you know, some of those baked in costs. Like, okay, yes, it's more money at A&M, but and A&M essentially took money that they would have been giving to Harold Perkins and shifted it over to Jacoby when Perkins flipped to LSU. But they're like, hey, look, okay, so your son's playing in College Station. That's gas, that's hotel, that's food. Every time you travel to see him, that there's costs baked in that. And so don't just look at the lump sum, look at the total package, and wasn't enough, man. I would love to see him back. I will tell you that I know LSU is eyeing, there are likely to be a couple of cornerbacks from Louisiana currently playing at other Power 5 schools, one in the SEC, one in the Big Ten, that are likely to hit the portal. And if they do, I think LSU takes one of them. Oh man, all right, we got about 5 minutes left. Brandon Davis, morning, Matt. Do you think there are any teams we can trade up with to get high enough to draft to get a quarterback? You see, Brandon, I don't think you're going to have to trade up. I mean, you're going to finish somewhere in the middle of the pack. I mean, you're going to be drafted mid-teens again. So if you're drafted 14 teams make the playoffs. If you're the team with the worst record that makes the playoff, which is probably right. I mean, if you're drafted somewhere mid-teens, you're going to be in a position to take a quarterback. And could the Saints trade up? Yeah, because they always do. Bradley Harden, morning from Tampa. Listen daily, rarely catch you live. Great show, got a supporter for life. Thank you so much, Bradley. Very kind of you, man. I appreciate you for being there. Dane Bergeron, good morning. Tiger Diver, not happy about the 11 a.m. kick for A&M. I want to be able to make whiskey and wine. Very cool. You got to come introduce yourself. Unless we've already met, and if so, I apologize, but you have to remind me your name and not just the screen name. Dane, is there anything LSU could do to change A&M game slot? No. I hear people say, like, what are you going to do if you just move it? You can't. Like, everyone in the league signs over their grant and rights to the conference. The conference negotiates TV contracts with their TV partners, and there's a structure in place for how those game times are selected. So LSU is going to play Texas A&M at 11 a.m., and there's no getting around it. From an ESPN standpoint, well, obviously CBS got first pick, and they took the Iron Bowl. Last opportunity CBS will have to broadcast the Iron Bowl, so of course they took it. And so then ESPN went next, and you had your choice with what you were going to do in prime time and what you were going to do at 11 a.m. And while we hate 11 a.m., the benefit of, if you're looking at it from ESPN's lens, they're going, okay, well, college game day is on. Game day ends at 11. The entire country is going to go to watch Michigan, Ohio State on Fox. So what do we have following game day? How about the guy that might win the Heisman Trophy? Boom, put him right there. So LSU A&M follows college game day in hopes that everyone watching game day stays and watches LSU and A&M, or at least flips back and forth. The night game, the primetime game, is Florida State. And that makes sense as well because Florida State is likely going to be undefeated, and you get a rivalry game in the swamp with a top 5 team in the country. I get it. I get why they did what they did. I hate it, but I get why the networks did what they did. Like if I am impartially sitting in ESPN's offices looking at the slate of games saying, how do we want to position these? That's exactly what I would have done. I mean, that just from a programming standpoint, what they did makes the most sense. I hate it as an LSU fan. I hate it that it robs Jaden Daniels of a primetime stage, and nobody's going to be watching LSU against a sub 500 Texas A&M team at 11 a.m. The West Coast might not even be awake. You know what I mean? It's been 9 a.m. on the West Coast. Anyway, Wacky Chris, I know you probably discussed it before. What happened to Scone and T? Always look forward to the show during the week. Yeah, thanks, man. So we were doing the show at Oliver Twist. Oliver Twist had a pause. They had a lot going on, opening up a new location, just a lot of different stuff. So they paused, and when they paused, we didn't really have a place to go. We tried to record it, but T and I couldn't get our schedules aligned to record it to drop it during the week. So that's why. But we hope to bring it back. I gotta go. Caleb Lemoyne, Urban Meyer to A&M would suck. He ain't going to A&M. Mike Hardy, Jacob Thompson. Good morning. Spurge, Jacob Hibbard, my friend Michael, Jaden Daniels to the Saints. Champ Bailey. Matt, who takes the Alabama job when Saban's gone. Deion Sanders. Y'all have a great day. Peace.